Welcome to the Church of Thomas. Selective Love, 9:3-10. Now, God and Jesus both spoke about love a great deal. And one of the things that we are warned about is that we don't know what is going to happen tomorrow, in 10 minutes, or the next second. When we're speaking about love, there is also a problem, because love can convey so many different things that it's important for us to share it whenever it occurs to us, whenever we feel it. The idea of saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, and not having any feeling behind it doesn't mean anything. But if your heart is welling up with love and you say you love somebody, or that you love God, or that you love the work that you do, it is an expression that is recognized. It helps, especially if you were talking to a person. To say you love somebody, and for them to understand that it is coming from your heart, does a great deal. It comforts, it heals, it reminds them that they are part of something much bigger that includes you. And there have been times in my life where I have left somebody, hung up the phone, driven off to go on a vacation, gone off to work, where I forgot to say I love you. And it was mostly because my life was busy and I wasn't really concentrating on it. But I have regretted it, because there have been a very few number of times, but they have been notable, that last phrase, that last sentence that I said was the last thing that I ever said to them. And if it had been a lack of I love you, if it had been harsh words, if it had not been an understanding that we'll work it out, that this is okay, that there will be a reconcile going on here, then when they were no longer in my life, I wouldn't have had any regrets. As it is, I don't have any regrets, because I was very lucky not to have left things unsaid. I have had friends, on the other hand, who have had loved ones that they have said snide things to as they're going out the door, and then they got in a car wreck and never made it home. That was the last words that they said. Now, this is a double-edged sword. It's not just for the comfort and sharing with another person. It's also for you, because if this person that you care about walks out the door and you never see them again, how are you going to feel if that was the last set of words that you ever shared with them? Here are a couple of verses. It's Ecclesiastes 3:1-8. There's a time for everything, and a season for every activity under heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to uproot. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to tear down, and a time to build. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones, and a time to gather them together. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain. A time to search, and a time to give up. A time to keep, and a time to throw away. A time to tear, and a time to mend. A time to be silent, and a time to speak. A time to love, and a time to hate. A time for war, and a time for peace. Because everything has a time in God's plan, I think that we should err on the side of caution when it comes to sharing that we care about somebody. That we try to live as though these would be the last interactions with somebody. If you hold back on the love, thinking you're going to wait for a special occasion, you may never get a chance for that special occasion. If you hold back trying to make it more valuable when you do finally say it, because I have known people that couldn't say I love you unless there was some dire circumstance going on, but all the joy they missed out on in sharing what they were feeling was lost. It's a two-way street. When you say, I love you, you're giving of yourself, you're sharing part of God, and you're getting something too. You're getting an understanding that you're not alone, and that you will never regret the last words that you said to somebody. God bless the whole world, no exceptions. Angel Eliza.